Hello and welcome to Phasmophobia, episode 7. If we were to, in fact, be numbering these, I haven't really made the decision yet because I've just been releasing them whenever. I think we are episode numbering them. Um, I am more awake than I was last time, so that should be pretty cool and good and fresh. We're starting on the home screen. We have the 3 missions of survive with only the starter items, get a $50 photo reward, and a Ouija board response. So we are going to come in here, create our private lobby, and off the bat select job, Ridgeview, amateur, Brownstone High School, or High School Pro, amateur farmhouse, amateur farmhouse. Okay, let's not do those ones because I want a pro house. I don't think I'm really in the biggest mood for anything bigger than a high school at the moment. Tanglewood Street amateur or pro prison. Okay, that's not giving us too much. That's kind of garbage. Maybe we'll give it one more try. Come on, let's go. Edgefield Pro. There we go. That's what I like to see. We are just going to do a basic no items run just to get that quest done, get a bit of extra cash. I don't really care too much about the $15 it gives us, but no harm in giving it a try. It's not like I lose anything if I fail anyways. Sounds good. You're off to work in about half an hour and a half, just trying to find the willpower to stay awake. Oh, trust me, I know that feeling. Having to be forced to stay awake yet not wanting to. Yeah, I know. It's usually not for work, but it's usually for something along the lines of having to drop my sister off to something, and it's like she'll like come in and wake me up like an hour early, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then I'm like laying in bed like, fuck, I want to go back to sleep. I didn't get enough sleep, and I have to drive. But yeah, then usually I try and just get up, have a shower, make a lot of coffee, down a bunch of coffee, and then try and just enter the zen and not fall asleep. But yeah, that's a whole thing. Luckily, I've not really been in too bad of a position because even if I do fall asleep, again, it's usually not too crazy. Uh, oh, okay. Oh, okay, even when I'm loading, I can walk around. I didn't realize that. Okay, we're in the mission anyways now. Okay.
Check the equipment and get set up before investigating. And remember to check the whiteboard for help.
Okay, it's this style house. Alright, gotcha. Salt, dirty water.
Looks like they left in a hurry.
So I don't know if that's just the pro, like because we're on pro mode, but I guess it is what it is. We'll grab that and we'll grab that. Boop. Button on. Let's do it. It's a small house, so it shouldn't be anything too crazy. But we might need to piss off the ghost pretty heavily to try and get it to show itself. We'll grab the car key. We'll grab this key here. Nothing over here. Where are you? Show yourself. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. I don't know, try and just piss off the ghost. Oh, hey. Where are you? Where are you? Gee, garage, no. Girls' bathroom, girls' bedroom. It's girls' bedroom, yeah, I reckon. Girls. Girl kid's bedroom. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Now, let's quickly just check our sanity real quick, because the light did flash, and if the light flashes, that inherently means that I believe our sanity goes down. Yeah, we dropped to 50 sanity. Oh boy. But we know where they are now, which is good. So was gonna say, I'm listening to where it's roughly walking around and it sounded like she was upstairs. Or it was upstairs, whatever. Just gonna do a quick check around for the bone. But, oh boy, we already are on our first hunt. Luckily, we know exactly where it is, so that's fine with me. That's the boys' kid bedroom, girls' kid bedroom. Yep, there we go. Cool. Well, we already know it's right there. Fantastic. I suppose I should probably just drop the camera there and watch it roll down the stairs. Well, damn it. Right, anyways. That was dumb, I guess, from my part, but that's fine. Spirit box. And we get the book. We're at 35% sanity, so it's probably going to be hunting us pretty often. I betcha as soon as I walk into this door, it's probably going to start hunting. No, not surprisingly not. How old are you? Do you want us to leave? How old are you? Do you want us to leave? Oh, jeez. Okay. EMF 5. Okay. Caught me off guard that it moved immediately. Yeah, I was going to say I could hear the sound of it coming down the stairs. Let me grab the camera and let me open this door. Okay, so what do we have? We had EMF 5. That's what it was. EMF 5, which already makes me a tad concerned because that doesn't really narrow it down. And well, this thing's coming after us pretty heavy. We're at 22% sanity. Our sanity's dropping pretty quick. Maybe let's turn on some lights. Excellent. So, bitch ass. I'm betting it's an Oni. We didn't get the bloody Ouija board photo. Oh, you're kidding me. And because we didn't survive, we also didn't complete the mission. It was a shade, right. That was pretty garbage. Ridgeview Roadhouse Pro. Okay, let's try that one then. Well, off to a bad start already. Go figure. Suppose that's what we should be expecting, though. Oh well. I guess it is what it is. In other news, I was just giving it some thought. I'm not particularly too big of a fan of having the little like timer up in the top corner. I like tried it out because I saw it on Azuma's stream, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but like, it doesn't make sense in my format of stream, right? Because in Susuma's stream, or Exuma, depending on what you call him, he he doesn't do multiple like things, right? Susuma is like Minecraft, full stop. Okay. 100% sanity, let's go. But yeah, so he's like only playing Minecraft and he has one stream and doesn't create certain videos out of it. And that's a bot that we are going to ban. Get out of here. There's been a lot of bots recently, it's felt like. And I don't like it. Bots are annoying. Because it's not a meaningful interaction. Like, you know, I like hanging out with everyone in chat and everything. And that's really one of the reasons why I like streaming. But then, you know, you have bots that come in and it's like, oh, great. You're just gonna basically spit on the time that I've been trying to spend developing a community and everything by trying to be like, oh, do you want to get famous? No, I don't care about getting famous. I want to have a cool community of people that I can hang out with and have a fun time with. And the existence of even those messages in my chat is a spit in the face of what I'm trying to achieve. Yes, it's good for timestamping videos. That's true. I mean, it just kind of gives a sort of showing of roughly. Also, I just realized I've been walking around with nothing out to actually show. We've had a few every time you've been here. Yeah, exactly, and it's irritating. But yeah, and I mean, I don't really. It's good to show roughly the timeline of when I do the streams for if someone's interested in it from the YouTube videos. But yeah, I don't know what's up with all the bots. We used to not get them too often, but they've just been popping up. Like, we get like at least one a stream at this rate, and it's really irritating. I hate it. Like, and there's not really much I can do about it either, is the other thing. Like, I understand that, like, that's how bots are made, is that, like, it's not really... Oh, hello there, sir. Sir or madam. Yeah, there we go, that's the ghost. I accidentally clicked over that. But, yeah, so we've got both an interaction and also a, picture of the ghost. Fantastic. That's possibly ideal. What's that? Is that a Ouija board that's upside down or no? I don't think so. I thought that was a bone for a second and I was like, oh, bone. Hey, freezing temps. Freezing temps. And, like, you know, normally I can justify... Like, normally I'm chill about stuff like that, you know? Like, I'm like, I don't care, it's just a bot, who cares? But, like, it's really just irritating. It is a direct spit in the face of, like, the time that not only that I spend trying to make these streams good, but also it's a spit in the face of the viewers who, you know, are trying to enjoy a stream and support people that, you know, like, I presume as a viewer you want to watch someone who is a legitimate streamer who actually tries to put in effort. And by having bots come in and try and say stuff like that, it's like, okay, it's a reminder that, you know, there are people out here who are trying to game the system, who are trying to break the way that Twitch works by, you know, faking views and doing that sort of stuff. And I don't like it, frankly. It's just not good. Capture a photo, we got that. Alright. Our sanity dropped pretty heavy, that's concerning. I'll drop the photo or the camera here for now. Let's take the recorder. We do know where the thing spawned. Oh, that's wacky. Look at that. That, like, area is lighting up every time I turn the green camera on. I guess that's presumably the way that the camera works, is in the darkness it tries to... Actually, I can't... Oh, it's not doing it over there, so I can't really identify it. Okay, let's have that door open. Rotate, and we'll just place that. Maybe here, I can't really see it there, but there. That hopefully is good enough. What do we got here? The book. Oop. Place the book, easy peasy. But yeah, I don't know. I know for a fact that banning these ports isn't really doing anything, but realistically, I much prefer to ban it as opposed to trying to time them out or anything. Ban it and get rid of it than to worry about, you know, anything else, I guess. But yep, there's a orb. Ghost orb. So at the very least, I suppose, banning it just makes sure that they can't have the same account. They have to keep creating new accounts, and the more accounts that are made, the more chance that, you know... I hope the more chance that Twitch is going to catch on and try and stop them. But, like, thing is, I don't want to have to ban certain phrases, like, want to get followers, because I know for a fact that they're going to come in here and they're going to, you know, write it in a different way that has, you know, a slight bit of, like, you know, that has a slight bit of, like, an accent on, like, one letter or something that makes it so it's not detectable. And at that point, it kind of just defeats the purpose and wastes time. Alright, well, I haven't found any purple yet. I suppose let's turn off the light. Do you want us to leave? Okay, it does in fact want us to leave. Cool, gotcha. I can't really do any of the other missions, so I think I'm done here. Let's get far enough away from here that there's no chance that it's going to be able to take us out on the veranda, which I have heard apparently does occasionally happen. It's a mare. Interesting, because we have lost a bit of stress. It'll attack in the dark. Okay. I guess the mare doesn't really have anything to do with extra stress. Maybe it's just me being in the darkness. But, yep, turning on the lights should fix that up. We dropped to 71%. We got the photo of the ghost. I could probably take a few more photos, but you know what? I'm not going to risk it. I'm cool. Thanks, but no. It feels like the ghosts have been a little bit more brutal as of recently. So, I'm cool. It's fine. Should probably put on a jacket because this fan that I've got here is making me very cold, and being cold and doing ghost stuff is not a good combo. So give me just a moment to grab like a jacket or something, or a blanket, or I don't know, whatever. And I am back. Let me try and just center myself in the camera. Just grabbed like the nearest jacket I had on hand. Okay. Tanglewood Pro. What do we got? How much money we have? We have 326. That's solid, actually. Let's grab 2 therms, I reckon. Bop bop. Sanity pills, we're all good. Sound sensors, let's grab a couple of them. So I've got at least 1 of each thing, because I need more video cameras. Otherwise, we're doing pretty good by the looks of it. Photo camera, add in 2 of them. A lighter, 2 crucifixes, a video camera. Salt, we'll take in 2. Smudge sticks, we'll take in 2 just in case. 2 tripods. Strong flashlight, motion sensor. Sanity pills. And 2 rave sticks. That feels good to me. Cool. Ready up, and let's go. Now we're going to Tanglewood again, so I think it is the same map that we just did. But that's fine. Realistically speaking, I'm cool with that. Like, I like the sort of smaller houses, because, especially while I'm soloing it. Yo, Kenny, what's good? How's it going? We're just playing a bit of Phasmo, and then we might move into some Darkest Dungeon afterwards, if you're around for that. But yeah, what's been happening? We've not had the best luck so far for ghosts, but it should be right. Let me turn down my headphones just a tad, because that rain is pretty loud. Let's turn that down as well. Doing alright, just slowly working on the low magic setting. Fair, fair. That's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to some of the boys as of recently, and, well, I don't know about you guys, or what your thoughts are on it, but... What is happening here? Jeez. Oh, I accidentally picked up salt, that's why. Yeah, we were talking about starting up the Hero campaign again, and, like, rebranding it to be, like, the Hero campaign, not the Hero Academia campaign, and just trying to properly separate it from the idea of Hero Academia. So that was a cool little thing that I've been happy to announce. I'll probably be doing a lot of D&D prep on you know, on Twitch specifically, because I've been very much keen to do so. So that is something to look forward to. I've sort of shot myself in the knee almost. Oh, hey, here's a bone. I've sort of shot myself in the knee to some degree, because I've got so many series and stuff going that I'm keen for right now. It's not like Hero Academia was the first one to say everyone has tower. True, true. It was just more well, hang on, that's 11. 11 and 12. Is this the room? It looks like this is the room. Okay. Yeah, it was just the sort of first one that initially I was there and I was sort of like, you know what, this is the campaign that I want to run. This is like the style that I want to do. And yeah, I don't know, it's the whole thing. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, that was the way that it was essentially described, because we essentially custom built the entire like style roughly. Like we took D&D and then we like pulled out all of these rules and stuff to try and custom build stuff. And at this point, yeah, that was basically like our beta, or rather, no, it's alpha then beta. That was our alpha, like pre-alpha to alpha. And then this campaign's probably better to call it our beta playthrough to see how, you know, we do with it. And Matt's already given me plenty of ideas. Have to let you know when we plan to stream these, because you definitely want to come and try and be here for them. Yeah, I'll definitely drop a message in, and probably, at the very least, I can tag you in Discord. Because I also was talking to some of the boys, right? And two of the boys, specifically the two that have been on stream most often, which reminds me, let me quickly open up the messages, just in case one of them responds. I was talking to one of them about having it where they can come and actually work on the map with me and add in their countries. So that way we can essentially just design a world map together. So they've got their little region, I've got my region, etc. Was going through weak powers and listing them. There are websites that have a bajillion different power choices. I don't particularly... Well, I might build some... I'll start listing out like ones for NPCs, and I'll probably go and attempt to build a bunch of NPC power stuff. But for the most part, at least player-based powers, I'll let the players handle that. I'll probably talk to them, and I'll talk to them in person and see what they're thinking for their characters, and then I'll probably talk about it on stream when the time comes. But any D&D streams we'll do are probably like map making based streams, designing towns and cities and stuff. And the boys, or one of them, Matt specifically, was saying he was interested in the idea of having it where they start either in the future or in the past, and then there's a flash forward or back depending on, well, which one we start with, and essentially being able to use that as like a look at the history of this world sort of thing, style stuff. A part of why you think it's good is when you make the setting wholesale, you can do stuff like regional super soldiers, man-made, splicing DNA, hypertech, etc. Yeah, exactly, and that's the sort of thing, right? Is the basis for the world at the moment is that it was some genetic phenomenon that began to spread over time. No one really knows why. We might be able to get into that in terms of, designing some kind of virus or contagion or something that activates these abilities. I don't really know. I haven't thought too much into that specifically. But there's definitely a lot of room for us to work in terms of like talking about the history and stuff, especially if we're doing time-based stuff, where like they can actually like go into the past and say like, hey, oh, so this is why that's a thing, etc. Also, do you want us to leave? It does in fact want us to leave. Excellent. Cool. Good to know. Good to know. Spirit box. Fantastic. Excellent. Cool. Brilliant. For Blades in the Dark, there's a flashback mechanic, but it's not quite what I described. Yeah, I imagine flashback is more memory-based stuff, whereas I'm talking like straight up going back in time. Though I'm going to have to DM it in a way where it's whatever they change is already presumed to have happened. So it's far enough back that realistically there's no justifiable way that they could argue, or they would know what would have changed and what wouldn't have. Poltergeist, Gin, or a Mare? I'm going to bet it's a Gin. Smudge Sticks, Salt. Okay, so Smudge Sticks, let's go this. Actually, we'll do the EMF and we'll get in this first. Because that way we can justifiably bring in our Rave Stick as well as having our ability to use Salt later on. I'll just turn on this. And I can turn on those candles soon. Cool. Throw in the EMF. Guard spots you while you're climbing up the side of a building onto the rooftop. You can use flashback. That's okay, I've already bribed the guard to look the other way and to keep the rooftop door open. Okay, fair, gotcha. That makes sense. So it's more of an improvised, oh, this person has done this, well, it's all good, don't worry about it, I've already handled that sort of thing. It feels like a sort of inbuilt way of being able to say, oh yeah, no, don't worry. We didn't discuss this specific event happening, but, I've planned ahead of time for it sort of thing. It almost sort of reminds me of, there's a game style called Mutants and Masterminds, which I was looking at for a while, where essentially you can, if you use one of your hero points or whatever, you can essentially just change the way that something has happened. So you can be like, oh yeah, I'm going to use my hero point to... Is that EMF 4? I'm going to use my hero point to have it so I've already done this in the past, sort of thing. This way PCs aren't spending time doing all prep stuff. Most people can't handle strategy and tactics well, and this leapfrogs a lot of stuff. That makes sense, yeah. I mean, and it makes sense if you're going to go for that style of gameplay, generally, I would say. Yeah, well, the way I'm thinking of doing it is doing an actual proper arc where they have to travel back in time to stop some villain or something. I haven't really thought about much of it because I've only been awake for about 5 hours since I had that conversation, and well, in that time that I've been awake, I've been playing more of I've been streaming and stuff. Maybe Chrono Trigger, yeah, pretty much stuff like Chrono Trigger, where time's not going to be the biggest element of it, because the moment we start messing around with time, I'm not going to give the players time powers because that would be a little bit too OP, but I reckon it's going to be a situation where for some arc there will be some degree of time shenanigans just for the fun of it and seeing what happens. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it though. It's just one of those things where, Oh, Jesus, fuck me. Okay. You having a moment there, miss? Okay. I was like, oh, there's the grey here. Is that like some kind of fog? No, that's just a wall, but the ghost there was a different thing. Okay, sure, alright, okay. Let's, F and G to just throw that one down there. It can do its thing. Alright. EMF is kicking up. Take a photo of the door. EMF is 2. Oh, there's fingerprints. Well, we've got guaranteed fingerprints. Fingies, that means it's a poltergeist. That's fair. Alright, cool, good to know. Turn off that one as well. Need to go back and forward to fix specific problems in time so you can reach the ending where the big bad doesn't poop on the universe. Could be fun. Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be one of those things where, like, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to make it so, like, they're low-tier heroes at the start. And they're going to slowly get stronger and better as the time goes on. Also, I think we just finished this mission 100%, basically. Maybe I'll go in and try and take some photos or something. But yeah, just, doing stuff like that to try and make it... oh yeah, I definitely prefer to start at level 1. Generally, I like to see the progression of power for a bunch of characters much more than, well, not doing that, I suppose. Like, actually having it so, there's a justifiable point where, oh yes, all the characters are weak, and then over time they slowly grow and learn more about their powers and themselves as characters, sort of stuff. Okay. Come on, I'm trying to... How does one do this? I don't actually remember. There's supposed to be something that I can do here. Okay, that's not working. Oh well. But yeah, and just in general, in D&D, I much prefer to start at a lower level. Because that way, there's a level where you can actually, do stuff like that. And learn your character from the beginning. Rather than just being like, oh yeah, there's like 4 levels worth of like backstory that I haven't really discussed with anyone, and it's just, somehow we've gotten from level 1 to 4 already, sort of stuff. But it all comes down to really how the DM wants to do it. Hold on, give me a moment. I am back. My brother came in, he's like, hey, how long would it take you to set up a Minecraft server? And I'm like, I don't know, 2 minutes. I've set up plenty of them in the past. He's like, oh, can you do that later for me? And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Wouldn't be too hard. You tend to have notes built up when people do adventures. It doesn't feel good to write in random adventures up to the higher level without them having done anything. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's one of those sort of circumstances where, like, it's like in a horror movie trying to build up suspense. You don't immediately go for jump scares. You've got to slowly build up into it and have that, like, story foundation to support being at that location. Since you'll give players bonuses on specific things or end up having, you just know on certain checks because you've encountered that challenge already. Yeah, exactly, right? And that's sort of something that we haven't really discussed that in the current campaign we're playing. Of course, backstory specific stuff, it's like, yeah, okay, you would know that. But otherwise, it's one of those sort of circumstances where it's presumed that, for the most part, you don't really know anything about the world. And even though, like, for the most part, my character is, in that campaign, he's a hunter, or he's a barbarian hunter from a hunter colony who survived on his own for, like, 2 years just out in the wilds because he got kicked out of his clan or whatever. And that's a very basic standard backstory for a barbarian, which, yes, I'm aware. It wasn't exactly something... Like, it was one of those things where I wrote the backstory with a grain of salt in mind, being like, there's a chance that this campaign won't become anything bigger. But yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, and then I'm like, okay, well, my character, like, I've just started doing this thing where anytime that I think I know something, I'll just have my character just start telling a story about when I encountered a thing. So it's like we came across a rock, and he's like, oh yes, I actually tried to get a rock egg before for breakfast. Turns out they don't like it when you do that. I got a big nasty gash on my side from it. So I would avoid that. I would suggest avoiding fighting it for the next little while until maybe we get a bit more stronger and capable of it. And then, just doing stuff like that. And I don't know, even if the DM's like, what? No, you wouldn't have done that. I'm like, well, maybe I have. He's a decently powerful barbarian who's been able to do a lot of things. Like, I could probably solo a pretty solid fight with him. So, I don't know. It is what it is at the end of the day. But, yeah, and then just because of the fact we haven't really done... There's like 4 levels of time, which, for all intents and purposes, could be quite a solid distance of time where, we don't know what's happened. The characters haven't really done much, so I've just decided, as just my player, I'm just going to fill stuff in anyways. See what happens. Simple backgrounds aren't bad, they're common for a reason. Also, there are many tribes that have people go on spiritual quests or something similar when you have little no support for a period of time. So, sort of, but the whole thing is he's part of a tribe that are supported by their ancestors. So he's a spiritual guy, or was it spiritual guardian barbarian or whatever? Where essentially he's got the spirits that support him in doing stuff like that. And so essentially the whole thing is he can't stand having the ghosts constantly watching over him. He feels like it's a thing. I don't know if it's an invasion of privacy or whether it's that he doesn't like, just having people there watching him at all times, judging him. So he essentially got kicked out of the tribe because he came across, in one day during a hunt, he came across some old wizard or whatever who gave him essentially a ritual to remove the support of his ancestors. Turns out, who would have guessed, that wasn't the right ritual. Instead, the ritual he was given was the ritual to sever the connection to the tribe and everyone's ancestors, as opposed to him specifically. He wasn't able to finish that ritual, but the elders recognized what he was doing. Luckily, his wife was there and was like, his wife found him first and was like, hey, you need to fucking leave right now. Get out of here. Because if you're caught doing this, you will be killed. And so he leaves. Everyone comes in and finds the stuff that's happened. The wife, as he's running away, sort of thing. And so he's just sort of like, yep, I'm living on my own now. It's cool. Don't worry about it. And then, time passes. He finds some estate or something. He's hunting on some large, grand estate where he's just doing hunting. The owner of the estate finds him and goes like, hey, come with me, because he's a dragonborn, so naturally it's a more exotic type. He's like, hey, come with me. I'll teach you how to exist within society. And so, because of that, he was taught to stay clean and everything. So he's developed developed essentially a blutomania. So he can't stand not being clean, all that sort of stuff, etc., etc. That's the whole thing. He could have conflicts. Yeah, ancestors in fantasy games can end up harming, killing, possessing targets. So he could also be in real danger. Yeah, exactly. And so at the current moment, it's a circumstance where he is relatively weak, but his whole thing is he wants to essentially regain. He wants to regain his. I don't know whether to say honor or anything, because he's realized oh shit, I did a very bad thing, and he's like, okay, I need to atone for that for the most part. So that's basically where he's at the moment. The rest of the tribe would not believe him, even if they knew. They probably wouldn't start. Yeah, exactly. And at that point, that's basically why I'm like, okay, well, I'm just leaving. I'm just gonna not stick with that tribe. And he's done the whole thing of how to fit into society as a pet project for the noble that he found and hung out with for a while. And then because of that, he's developed some intense degree of a blutomania, where he legitimately, there was one thing where every time that something happens to like tear his clothes, he has like a minor breakdown, being like, "My clothes are broken again. Come on, I just want to have a nice set of clothes that aren't covered in blood." And so that was the whole thing that happened. So much so that like multiple occasions have happened where he's just like, "Yeah, you guys can go off and go talk to the magic item vendor or whatever. I'm gonna go to the bathhouse and try and make sure I'm clean and like clean my weapons and clean my tools and make sure that I'm not dirty and everything." Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like straight up, that's the whole thing. Where so at one point the boys decided, "Hey, let's go carousing." So I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll join in. Sure, whatever." And so we roll on the table, we see what happens. The number that I rolled on, I basically I wake up in an alley. My clothes are completely dripping with blood, like they are soaked in blood, and immediately, like Furor wakes up, he looks down and he just goes, "What the fuck is going on here? Holy shit!" Takes off the shirt, keeps the pants on just for the sake of not walking around without pants, but like, what the hell is going on? And he's got like just like a bag of like drugs or whatever, and he's like, what the fuck?" Put them in the pocket. I need to go back to the tavern now. Heads back to the tavern. Everyone else is like recovering from their little thing that they've been doing. And so he's like, "Guys, what happened?" Not too sure. Also, I think we found the room. God damn it, it's another basement, of course. Yeah, he's a wizard comes and he's like, "Hey, you stole something of mine." And he's like, "Oh, here you go. Take that, I don't want it." And so that whole thing happened. But yeah, he's like immediately changed out of his blood-soaked clothes. When I bought those clothes, I specifically bought 2 sets for this exact reason. I expected something like this to happen, so I'm like, luckily I've got another set of clothes. Go up, put my new set of clothes on. I come back downstairs, and one of the other guys so we rolled essentially D100. I rolled a 68, and then DM says you can add your level to it, so I added my level. Turns out one of the other boys rolled 62 and then added his level to get 68. And for his one, he just woke up with no clothes, and all of his clothes were given to like a bunch of homeless people, and he's like, "Oh, crap, I should probably get back to the tavern." He gets back to the tavern, and I'm like, "Looks like you're in need of some clothes there, my friend." And he's like, "That would be appreciated." And I'm like, I have these clothes. They're a tad covered in blood, though." And he's like, "That's fine. Prestidigitation and clean them." "Okay, well, you know what, Magic Man, do your thing. Have these clothes. They might be a bit baggy on you, but better than no clothes at all, in my opinion. So have fun with that one." And so essentially that happened. So can't complain. Matt ended up somehow, like what was it? He woke up with a dead body under the bed he was sleeping on, and then he so it was a spell for quickly making one sober. Yeah, pretty much. Apparently, I believe we found that minor restoration or lesser restoration apparently is able to make you instantly sober. Which I'll tell you what, the party drunk, which is the other caster of our group, he was he wasn't particularly impressed by that. He was like, I was trying to have a drink," and the cleric who came down without clothes was like, "Well, good for you, but welcome to the life of being sober again." And so, of course, the joke was made, "Oh, if we keep casting minor restoration on him, he eventually might, stop becoming a drunkard." See what happens, I guess. But, I don't know, we had fun with it either way. Yeah, that was the whole thing. But apparently, the drunkard also ended up getting himself a job as a stableman, a stable boy, in the time that he was off doing his thing. So don't particularly know how well that went, but it was a thing that occurred. So yeah, that was the whole thing. Guess I'll throw this over here now. Just trying to find out where exactly this ghost is. I've not really found any sign of it. Just need to give him a magical item that makes it so alcohol that passes the body turns into water. That would be pretty good, actually. I imagine that would be a spicy meme. It's a interesting. I was gonna say it's a like a ring that makes any alcohol in his body more potent, but it also is cursed to change the alcohol into his body into water. So it would make the alcohol more potent if he had any in his body. That would be interesting. I might actually need to submit that to the DM and be like, "Hey, what do you think about that?" But yeah, I suppose that sounds pretty fresh. That would be something that he as a character would not very much enjoy, but he as a player would probably find pretty funny. Because yeah, he's pretty chill. Though he's tried to call me out a few times for various things. Because I was like, "Hey Matt, can you please pass me like a pencil?" And he's like, "Manners," and I'm like, "I said please," and he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry," and I'm like, "Chill, it's all good. I am very, very overly cautious about using manners and like making sure I do. It's all good. Don't worry. Trust me. I like to believe I'm a respectable human." But yeah, no, I don't know. There's been a few times where it very much feels like he's trying to like that he just doesn't enjoy me being there, and I'm like, you know what, big whoop. If you don't want me here, you can tell me face to face, and we can move past that. But for the most part, I'm not really too worried about it. But other than that, he's generally pretty chill. Like, I would compare him to some of the other people I've played D&D with in the past, where it does feel like in certain circumstances that they're trying to catch me out on something and try to make me feel bad about something. But otherwise, I'm like, no, I'm generally in the I try to generally be in the right. So if you've got an issue with me, just tell me and we can deal with it and move past it. But yeah, no, either way, he's chill. Also, Funk Deluxe, hell yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know if he's necessarily the one to say something say something behind my back, but it does feel like one of those sort of circumstances where he's at least trying to catch me out on stuff, and I'm like, no, I cover my bases generally. It is what it is. Like there was one point which, to be fair, he did call me out on something I actually do agree with that I was being a bit of a dick about, but Gil, Matt's character, and he was invisible trying to follow them because Gil was getting given a contract because he's an assassin, whatever. And so he's having his moment. They're talking, and he's given a job for 1,000 gold, and we're sitting with like a couple thousand in the bank already, and they're like, "Oh yes, this is a contract for roughly 1,000 gold." And I turn to Xander because they're like over to the right. I'm talking to Xander to the left. I'm like, "That's a bit low, isn't it?" And everyone turns to us and is like, "Zach, you're not in this scene," and I'm like, I wasn't trying to be. I was just talking to Xander quietly, just speculating, but sure, whatever. But I get, I'm not in the scene, I won't talk. Granted, they did also have like an hour-long scene of them in the magic shop without me, and I tried to keep my mouth shut for the entirety of it. But if you couldn't tell, I'm a pretty talkative person, and I try and talk. I do like to talk quite often. But yeah, exactly. And I'm just trying to give my feedback. I get I'm not there. I wasn't saying it in character. I was just saying 1,000 gold isn't very much. It is what it is. But oh well. Doesn't matter. It's not like it really bothers me too much anyways. Turns are supposed to also take about 1 minute. Yeah, exactly. And I get that, because it feels like they're trying to move into Gil's backstory, and I'm wholeheartedly down for that. But yeah, I'm sitting there just sort of they were in that shop. They spent all of the money basically getting magical items. I didn't end up getting actually any of them, which, all things considered, I'm fine with that. I already have a cool battle axe. That's fine. I'm cool. I'm not really too worried about it. Generally, if anything, I'm also going to say I really don't think this is necessarily the fault of the DM, because I generally think that the DM's been doing pretty well recently. He's a new DM who's been doing pretty solid this entire time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to blame him for it. But yeah, occasionally I'm like, as a character, I would rather be having dealing with his character flaws before worrying about any of that. But then I'm sort of like, okay, everyone's getting new cool armor and new fancy weapons and stuff, and I'm just like, yep. Okay. But yeah, no. Either way, don't get me wrong. I very much do enjoy playing D&D with all of those guys. Um, I just feel a bit bad when I get called out for something that I would like to believe I'm in the right for. So I'm like, what can I do? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to play. Like, generally, anytime I talk to someone about something, it's presumed that that conversation would have happened later on whilst I'm like, whilst we're traveling for like 3 days or something, like, because it wasn't a secret that he was going to pick up an assassin's contract. We were all just like, yeah, I agree. I'm cool with that. Whatever. That's your job. Sure. But I presumed afterwards he would come back and be like, oh, this is a thing for like 1,000 gold. And I'm like, I still would have given the same response. 1,000 gold's a little bit low, to be honest, but whatever. When you were young, you had to go through a lot of players before you found ones that you wanted to play with long term. And the thing is, I actually like very much enjoy playing the campaign with those guys. Thing is, we started with our original group of like Xander, Chris, Matt. Sam ended up joining the group, and Joe were our. Hang on, Xander, Chris, Matt, Joe, Sam. I think that's the group of guys. And so essentially, that was our main group for a while. I also did have a separate other group with like Mastermind and a few of the other guys. I haven't played with them for a while just because reasons. I won't get into it. Um, but then as of recently, Sam started wanting the DM, so I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'm cool with that. I got invited to join. Basically, myself and Matt, of course, Matt and Sam are very good, very close friends. And they have two of the other guys. One of which being the one who's trying to call me out. The other I'm cool with. He's all good. The one who has the minor restoration and everything. And so I'm like, yeah, no, I'm cool with this. That's whatever. And only thing is, Chris and Joe weren't invited to that new game. Chris, because occasionally he can be very focused on certain topics to talk about, where we want to play D&D and he's talking about this thing still. Regardless, that's Sam's decision, not mine. Um, and so our group has kind of morphed into that kind of set of people. And I think it's just in that sort of growing pain stage of like getting used to a new group still. We've played for like 6 or 7 sessions at this point, but I've still been enjoying it. Sam has been doing very well recently, despite being still a very new player. So I've got to give him props for how well he's been doing. Like, I've met certainly a lot worse DMs in my time, and he maintains a pretty high standard of like being up there, sort of thing. I know Matt has a few gripes with it, but of course, those two are like best friends, so it makes sense that he's going to be taking the piss out of him every once in a while. Matt's very focused on having a very geographically accurate map, for example. And of course, Sam is just more of like, I'm just gonna. Oh, hello, sir. Sam's just like, bruh, I just want to play the world. It's chill. Do you want us to leave? Okay, he's a fan of Johnny Cash. All right, cool. Good to know. Bruh, stop breathing in my ear, please. Okay, so what do we got? We got spirit writing. Probably shouldn't be standing in this room while I'm doing it. Spirit box. So it's a spirit or a demon or an Oni. Interesting. Not seeing any thingies. He's about to hunt, it feels like. Okay, I'm gonna move out of the way before he starts hunting. Most GMs, like most players, will not be good. There's no metric, like a ranking ladder to determine good/bad. People will often stagnate and not build their skills significantly. It's much easier to excuse bad behavior than to fix it. Yeah, exactly. Thing is, immediately off the bat, he's had a strong starting point, but I think the important thing is willingness to improve. Like I'd like to think I'm a decent DM, just because I'm constantly watching stuff on how to be a better DM. Like, you know, I watch a ton of Matthew Colville DMs Lair. I've been watching a decent amount of recently. I watched a bit of the XP to level 3, trying to learn from like Davy Chappie, you know, Joe Cat a little bit, though Joe Cat doesn't really do DM stuff. He's just more of like, here is class overview sort of stuff. You get what I'm saying though, regardless. Also, I'm hoping that actually that photo counted. Yep, interaction goes cool. Regardless, I always try and watch more on it because frankly I like listening and talking about D&D, so I want to improve my skills when it comes to talking about D&D, etc., etc. So yeah, that's a whole thing on its own, I guess. Um, Realistically speaking, I don't know how much he watches on D&D. But he does have a strong starting point to begin with from doing stuff like that. It seems. The more one actively tries to learn and tries different things, the better off you'll be. Yeah, exactly. Like, just in general, it's one of those sort of circumstances where actively trying to become better is realistically the best way to become better, I guess. I suppose that's the most simplest way of putting it. I'm also unsure about the success of our situation at the moment. Where... Oh, the power's gone out. Okay, that's irritating. But yeah, like, I don't know how much time he spends off camera. This is a massive learning experience for him, because as a first-time DM off the bat, he's already said, I want you guys at level 1 to start with a feat. Except for if you're playing a variant human, then I'm not going to give you 2 feats, but start with a feat, and then you'll get everything else, just so that way you guys are pretty decently powerful in the campaign, which that alone has made us insanely powerful, because starting with Great Weapon Master as a barbarian is pretty insane. And then also we started at level 4, so we also had an extra feat if we wanted to choose it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm all good with that. That's pretty cool. I like being powerful, etc., etc., so I'm not too stressed about it. He still continued to be one of the better DMs I've dealt with in the past, though, I do have to say. Like, it feels... What's the word? It feels bad of me to not explicitly state, yes, he has been one of the better DMs I've dealt with. Still haven't done well, really much, actually, at the moment. Still haven't done much. Much easier as a first-time GM to start at level 1 and use a module, or at least shape the module to what you need then from scratch. Yeah, true, but at the same time, our group never really does much module-based stuff. Like, our group has always been very strong in terms of just custom creating everything and seeing what happens. Because then we can take the piss out of what each of us like do, because, you know, everything's custom created. We can't really, like, you know, if we custom create something, it's not like we can go and then say like, oh, or rather, you can't really, if it's a module, you can't be like, oh, why did you do this? Because it's like, either it's been done or it's not, and it's not been done by the people. You rarely ever do it, but you don't expect other people to make things from scratch, or make primarily from scratch. Yeah, thing is, that's sort of just how we roll. The first D&D campaign I ran, granted, it only ended up being a one-shot, but it was 9 people on my 18th birthday, like 9 players on my 18th birthday. I custom built the world. Didn't really go too far, but 9 players, and it was definitely pretty crazy. Yeah, off the bat. I mean, to be fair, off the bat, we'd all played D&D with other people, but actually, well, I was teaching like 4 people how to play at the same time. Yeah, it was... Needless to say, it was an interesting experience. Would I do it again? Probably not. Like, it was kind of brutal. And I'm just like, yeah, it was fun, but... oh boy, it hurt. And, well, there's a reason that it didn't expand into a proper campaign. Well, firstly, because, 1, organising 9 people is brutal. What's the average amount of players I tend to have? Usually 4 or 5 for me. You'd rather have 2 overlapping campaigns, 1 group of 4 and 1 group of 5. Yeah, exactly. Like, stuff like that I'm usually more alike to, or I'm more preferable to. But yeah, at least generally my average is 4-ish people. 4 to 5. Because that's just sort of that's still within the group of like, you know, you can have combat and it goes relatively quickly if you're not fooling around. But yeah. Ooh, EMF 5, okay. That means, if I'm not mistaken, let me drop that and let's get out of here, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's a demon or an Oni. Yeah, 4 or 5 players is generally pretty good because you can maintain. It's still got that level of like, I don't think intimacy is the word, but like we can all just have a bit of banter with each other, and it doesn't get too distracting. Whereas, you know, as soon as you hit like 6, 7, that's when smaller conversations start to form within the group. It's an Oni, okay. Yeah, smaller conversations form within around the table, and the moment that you have small conversations forming is the moment that people aren't paying attention to the DM and you start missing stuff, and at that point it's an irritation more than anything else. But yeah, it's easier to prevent because of course, you know, as a DM you need to have the skill to be able to break up those smaller conversations, but at the same time prevention is almost always better than, you know, dealing with the conversations as they pop up. At least in my opinion. Pro farmhouse. Sure, let's do that. Let us. How much money do we have? We've got a decent amount, actually. What do we need? Head-mounted cameras? Sure, let's buy some of them. 1, 2. Ghost writing book, therm. Parabolic microphone. Sanity pills. Sound sensor. We'll grab one of them. Strong flashlight. Tripods. Spirit box. Oh, we need to grab another video camera. Damn it! Buy video cam. Oh, it's $50. Ah, brutal. 4444 down to here. 1 3 4 4 4 4 2 4 and then 4 4 4 4 all down the side. Very nice. Give me a moment to blow my nose. Alright, you had some games with lots of people, but one game was a one-shot that was meant to kill players and have fun. Another was mass combat oriented, which made it so players would often take turns together, trying to negate this huge weight of going play by player. That's fair. Yeah, I generally find, because the thing is, even just as a group that large, inherently the instinct is to just split up and do things separately, which that in itself is an issue to deal with, because you're like, okay, I get with so many people you want to do that, but as a DM it just becomes like, I might as well be DMing 2 different campaigns. If you give each player 1 minute to decide and summarize what they're doing and you have a party of 9, then you have to wait 8 minutes between turns. That's way too much. Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing as well. That's where I prefer to do, you know, at most a party of 5 sort of thing, because you're only waiting 4 minutes if you're doing that strategy. But even still, generally people tend to team up, especially with our group, because they're all friends, or we're all friends rather, where it's not one person just doing something, it's like 2 people being like, hey, we want to go and do this thing, or whatever. You've done it before for Mega Dungeons, but it can be hard to keep players from having information crossover, basically meta talk. Yeah, exactly. Not to mention the fact as well that, like, I find since you're not running them simultaneously, because that's impossible, it generally becomes a thing where sometimes players might literally be crossing paths, and how do you DM both? Like, how do you know that they're gonna cross paths, sort of thing? Like, especially if like it doesn't make sense time-wise. Regardless, it's a whole thing. Generally, I try and just avoid that by having only a few players doing a certain thing at a given time, or a certain campaign at a given time, and luckily I can get away with that, because also the other main issue that pops up if you have too many people is how do you go through and make sure that people are actually available on the day to play? And I can't stand the idea of not, or of trying to, like, because I hate when we try and organize a day to play D&D and then just people start pulling out and everything, and it's like, if you want to play D&D, come play D&D. Otherwise, don't be part of the campaign. Like, I get that time sometimes is hard to line up, but at the same time, you know, we got to put in effort if we want to be playing D&D. And I'm at the point where I don't really want to bother wasting time and all that sort of stuff. I just want to play the damn game. So I guess it is what it is. Like if you found out a specific blue rune opens doors and you found a way to activate them, if you have no way to communicate with Group 2, then they shouldn't know how to do what you did. Yeah, exactly. And that's one of those things where, like, the two ways that you could look at that or try and fix that is either you give them a way to justifiably communicate with each other, and on the other hand, you just say straight up, okay, you attempt to use the blue rune to open the door. It doesn't work because you don't have the blue rune that you need, or like, you know, or something like that, and that inherently, or even in Sam's campaign, we have a running joke where you've got the meta bird or whatever. You got the meta crows, and then you've got if you start talking in character accidentally about something that doesn't exist in the world, your character starts just having a nosebleed. And that's more of something that's enforced by the players rather than the DM himself. But, like, it's sort of a running joke that, like, you know, Matt or I will start being like, oh, yes, you know, gunpowder and TNT are two different things, blah, blah, blah. And then our character's noses start, Matt's like, oh, my nose. And I'm like, oh, I'm also getting a nosebleed, oh, shit, sort of thing. And, yeah, just because that's just how we do it. It's a little way of, like, reminding ourselves, hey, just because we know these things, our characters don't know them. And, of course, that does ultimately come into one of those circumstances where you could argue, well, yeah, I get it, you know, our characters don't know player stuff, and we try and keep it relatively under wraps, but sometimes it does get to one of those things where, you know, sometimes it does, because sometimes we don't want to just start going in circles. So, you know, it takes a moment for character A to figure it out, and then if they just withhold the information, it's like, okay, great, now we have to also justify figuring it out and try and not do it in some kind of cheesy way that's just, you know, the equivalent of, oh yes, well, we're gonna follow his footsteps, because then at that point it's like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, you know, if I'm trying to think of the best way I can describe it. Also 12s, 12, 3, 11, okay, I think it's this area. Now, is it all of this area? Or is it just that little area there? Yeah, I think it's this area. Okay, good to know. Yeah, just all in the attempt to try and make things make sense and to not make them weird. And of course, as players, we all try our best to try and make sure that you know, things don't end up being like that style of like, oh yes, well, this character did it, so we also know how to do it, but without trying to go in circles. And I think I've started, speaking of going in circles, I'm pretty sure I've just gone in circles like 3 times when trying to explain what I mean, and yet I don't think I've explained what I meant any better than what I started with. Regardless, I hope you kind of get what I mean. But yeah, you get. Anyways, so we'll grab this. We'll grab one of the crucifixes because I don't want to die off the bat. Yeah, we'll take the torch because I don't know where the light switches are. And luckily, because it seemed to only be that the dining room area of that area over there, we can hopefully deal with that. Also, hello there, little voodoo doll. Didn't see you there before. Yeah, there are ways to fix it, but some players are just terrible about it. Turn on that light. You had to go through a lot of players before you found ones that you wanted to play with. Yeah, exactly. And like as players, generally we try to be as good as we can be, and some people aren't like that. Realistically, there's not much we can really do about it, because people who want to be good at the game and who want to improve will go out of their way to do so. People who don't want to do that, well, they don't do it. And those are the sort of players that you want to avoid generally. Okay, we'll grab that. And we'll grab this, because we can come over here, hopefully. I suppose I should probably turn off the light if I want this to work. You doll. Did that do anything? Interaction. Okay, that counted. Cool. Do you mind? I just turned on that light. Okay, most of us were like add-ons at best. Yeah, I know that feeling. They would come or not, and it hardly mattered because of any given strange reason, like never paying attention, disrupting the game, thinking they can get away with everything, insulting behavior between players instead of characters, etc. Yeah, generally, I've become adverse to having players have at least the more intense versions of in-character arguments, because it has the potential very quickly to turn into out-of-character arguments, and when you're attacking ad hominem, then it usually sort of makes it not fun for everyone else. Like, I don't want to sit at a table and watch two of my friends argue for whatever reason. So, luckily I don't have to worry about that too often, but it's still something I'm cautious about generally. Okay. With that light on, EMF, we'll just drop this over here. How's that temperature looking? Down to 5. Well, it does definitely seem like we've found the right location. I just had the door open. Don't know which door that was, but just gonna take a photo of that one. And we've got fingerprints. Nice. So we know that's fingies, and we'll take a photo of that one. Nothing over there yet. The spotlight is meant to be shared, so when 1 to 2 players just sit there hogging up all the time, it bombs out all other players by default. That's true as well, yeah. When even looking at it specifically in terms of time, it's like, okay, other players want to actually be able to do stuff. They want to, go and explore their backstory, or go kill some whatever the fuck, goblins, aboleths, really, whatever your campaign is about at that point. And not being able to do that is a bit of a bummer, definitely. Detect a ghost's presence with a motion sensor. Okay. But yeah, it's one of those things where the best way to deal with that is just by preventing it ahead of time. If you know players have an issue with each other, not having them go together. There was one point where I was in that position not in that position, but there was one point where I had a very in-depth character argument with one of the other boys, who turned out later to be one of the players that I played with pretty often. But yeah, it was one of those sort of circumstances where in the moment it was kind of cool, but I imagine other people weren't exactly enjoying it, because it did get to the point where our characters were going at each other pretty hard. Also, hold on. How old are you? Do you want us to leave? Do you want us to leave? Okay, let's presume that that is not the right one. Okay, well, we got ghostwriting as well, so I'm going to take a photo of that. Wherever my camera is. Here we go. Oop. Interaction, cool. Okay. We have fingies, we have ghostwriting. And we can test for orbs. If you ask strange things, does it ever answer? There's a list of like 50 different things that it does respond to, I'm pretty sure, for that stuff. I haven't looked at the full... I've glanced at the full list, but I don't remember most of them. I just remember, do you want us to leave, and how old are you, are the two ones that I usually go to. But I presume there are some weird questions that you can probably answer, or ask it and it'll work. I don't think that would work out well, because the only responses that it has is like old, young, or at least the ones I've heard are like old, young, kill, die, death, stuff like that, where it doesn't make as much sense generally. But I guess it is what it is. Let's salt, and let's get the rave stick. We need a motion sensor and smudge sticks also. Yeah, I at the same time, I presume to some degree, it's hard to write a good. What's the word for it? It's hard to write a good. For some reason, I'm thinking of the word hierarchy, but hierarchy isn't the word I'm looking for. It's hard to write a good heuristic for understanding a lot of those sort of questions. To be fair, though, you could probably program it in a way where it's do you like X or Y, and it says yes or no, or like, or it's if it's do you like and then one word, it's usually a yes or a no. If it's do you like this or this, that's probably a bit harder to program. Also, that can just started rolling. I'm thinking it might be a poltergeist if that's a possibility. Spirit or a revenant? Oh boy, spirit is spirit box. So there's a fair chance that's a revenant. Oh boy. At least it's not like I can really run from a revenant here. The EMF 5. Okay, I guess we got EMF to do. Oh boy. I'm not really keen on it being a revenant, not gonna lie. Revenants are like the one ghost you've actually got to be concerned about. But yeah, having a much bigger range programmed in would be good, but I presume it would also probably cost a little bit to get all that stuff set up. Fuck. It's a revenant. Alright, let's activate our rave sticks. Get some salt there, and there. Drop that. Throw that more there. Great, fantastic. It's a bloody revenant. So if a revenant starts hunting, you've got to hide. Otherwise, it's just going to come right for your ass. And I've died to so many revenants before. EMF 5 is a revenant. Like, thing is, if a revenant starts hunting and you're in the room, you are screwed. Like, you are majorly screwed. Okay, let's take another one of these. And what's our sanity at? 60%. So we're still doing pretty decently. I'm going to take the purple torch, just so that way I can find if there's any other fingerprints that I can take photos of. So I should probably grab a camera as well. At this point, we're just in the part of the game where we're just trying to ferry things in, just to get as much effectiveness as we can. Still haven't had any salt being walked through. We got one thing there, so what I'll do is I'll put that there. And you get to move over here. Fantastic. Let's hope that has a big enough coverage. I hear him chilling near me. Okay, fair enough. Whatever works, man. Whatever works. Okay, well, that's the fingerprint we've already found. Nothing on this door. Nothing there, nothing there. Okay, well, coolio. Oh, there's a key there. Hello. Gonna head out. Have a good night. Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for coming out. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you whenever I catch you next. Okay, so... what's the play? So we want him to go through salt. We could get him to try and... We could get him to possibly do the whole thing with... Oh, we don't actually need to get dirty water. That's good. Motion sensor. I guess we'll do that. And let's just down some pills real quick. Let's take another camera in. Preferably one that has a lot more photos left on it. Excellent, I got the hiccups by the seams of it. Fantastic. You can go there. And we'll just drop the camera there. I'll come back for that one later. It's always useful to have a camera on hand. And I'm back. Okay, what else do we want to get? Smudge sticks, perhaps? I believe smudge sticks are useful. Yep, that's something we need to do. Then we need another rave stick and some salt. Get some salt over at the other door, hopefully. Because otherwise, we are probably gonna not get that salt, which is unfortunate. Okay, still nothing here, which is odd. Drop a smudge stick right there. Coolio. Lighter, we'll just put that there. Why do they have a jar of pickles? Is that a normal thing? I don't know. I don't really think any of us, or at least I don't think that we in Australia just randomly have a random jar of pickles on the table. I don't know, appetizers, I guess. I mean, Chris might have a jar of pickles lying around. I don't know. I haven't really talked to him too much about it. Now let me quickly open up my messages. Very fresh. Quickly responding to Sir Matthew. He had a job interview today, and I'm asking how it went, as well as being like, hey, come play Phasmo. Salt, motion sensors. Okay, we did the smudge stick. Motion sensor still hasn't gone off yet. Boop and boop. I might need to... The only issue is we can't move salt if we place down salt and it doesn't... And it doesn't work, we can't really do much about it. That almost looked like a cockatoo with the like white body and the yellow cuppa's hair. Why did that look like I was freezing temps for a second there? Okay, place some of that there, place some of that there, and we'll just throw some of it over here for good measure. And then we'll activate our rave stick and drop that down there. Maybe a bit closer to the middle. Oh well. We've done that as best as we can. If that doesn't work, then, well, what can we do? Should be right, though, I reckon. Okay, so, motion sensor... We need it to proc the motion sensor, if possible. Perhaps I'll head upstairs and see what else I can find. Camera. We've just like covered his house or his room in just shit. Okay, he's gone through salt. That's good. Motion sensor is last. I'll take the camera. How's our sanity looking? Still pretty good. What else should we take? Doesn't really make sense for us to take anything else. What happens if I take another... I can't take another light. I was going to say if I take two lights at the same time, double light power, got like the big one on the head, and then like a normal smaller one to blast up that torchlight even further. Alright, now let's take a quick check and see which salt has been walked through. Of course it was that one. Go figure, I think we made the smart idea by dropping some salt there. Sir, do you mind? I guess just take a photo of like there. Yep, that counted as an interaction. Hell yeah. So that's the thing usually, is you want to take a photo of where the thing originally was, if it gets moved, because that usually seems to count as an interaction more than, you know, not taking or taking a photo of the item that's moving itself. Anything up here worth checking out? I'm looking for the bone at the moment, really. The bone or another, maybe a Ouija board, or maybe another one of the dolls. If I can find them, then we'll be good, but otherwise I don't think we're finding much. Or otherwise I don't think we're getting much money. So usually you can find the doll in around here. Yep, there it is. Can I pick up anything? Yep, I can pick up this. Good. Does that count as an interaction? It did. Fantastic. Good stuff. And that pisses off the ghost a little bit, which is nice. Luckily, if it starts hunting, we should be far enough away that we should be safe, hopefully. At least I believe so. No bone over here. Come on, throw me a bone. Tick tock, tick tock. Let me turn down the audio just a tad because it does seem to be quite loud. I don't want the audio to overpower my voice if possible. Especially since it's supposed to be kind of a lot quieter. Yeah, we'll go like that. That should be good. Right, I'm not seeing any bones. Whereabouts is what we're looking for. And what we're looking for being literally anything useful, please. Hey, here's our power thing. Cool. Power is back on. Fantastic. Shame the Revenant doesn't really do anything regarding power. Not seeing much. Okay, well, I guess we're not finding a bone then, at this rate. Great, fantastic, brilliant, cool, great, excellent, cool. Give me a moment. Tick tock, tick tock. Oh, you're actually kidding me. There's a third one of these. We found 3 voodoo dolls. How? Actually, to be fair, I think I can easily justify how. I reckon the way it's programmed is instead of it choosing a location, it goes through each possible location, rolls an RNG value, and then depending on that RNG value that's rolled, that determines whether a voodoo doll spawns in that location. So justifiably, it checks it for each of the possible foot spots, and if it doesn't do anything, or if it can spawn it, or it can also not spawn it. I also don't know where the fingerprints. Oh, on the window. Interesting. Didn't realize that was possible. So, take a photo of that spot. Yep. There's more fingerprints. Excellent. Cool. Let's grab this camera then. I'm expecting it to start hunting. So it hasn't broken through any of the crucifixes yet, but I'm gonna guess, because we don't have a crucifix down here, if it starts hunting, it's gonna come and just destroy us. So maybe I'll come over this way. Going to be absolutely brutal if that is the case. Okay. Surprisingly, it's not come for us too much. It apparently was very active recently, though, so let's have some more pills. Drop that there. Down some pills. We got all of the things. Actually, we are good here. Motion sensor procced. We didn't find anything. Let's just get out of here. We should make a ton of money from this. This is a small map, I believe, still. So that means that we should make at least 200, hopefully. Or at most 200, really, I guess. Depends on whether we complete challenges as well. 205. Good stuff. We got a lot of photos, no bone evidence. Bummer. 170 experience, we're level 66. Fantastic. That's feeling pretty good to me. I wonder. I wonder. What is the plan? What is the thing that we should go and do? Okay, select on the job. Let's go street house. No, I don't want to do a prison. I'm not really feeling a high school at the moment. Like, I don't know, I'm just not in the mood for it, I reckon. Maybe if Matt was to join, we'll do high school, but otherwise, I'm not too worried about it. Edgefield Street House, Intermediate. That literally gave us the exact same possible stuff, except for the Grafton Farmhouse. I want to just do another regular house, not gonna lie. I kind of like just the smaller regular houses. I prepared some jobs for you. Okay, cool, thanks. Video camera. Boop, 1, 2, 3. Smudge sticks, salt. We need some tripods if possible. Nope, we've already got tripods. What can we add? We need a spirit box and 2 motion sensors. Motion sensors are 100, I'm pretty sure, aren't they? Yep, they are. So spirit box. Look at that! We've almost got 4 of everything. That's going to be awesome. I like having a nice amount of everything, because... Oh, actually, we can have up to 6 video cameras, so maybe we need to slowly up everything. Once we get 4, we need to get 5 of everything, then we need to get 6 of everything, and then 7 of everything, and etc., etc. Okay, asylum, prison, high school, farmhouse. I don't want to do any of those, to be honest. Like, not while I'm soloing it, I reckon. Grafton, Edgefield, intermediate. Come on, I'm level 66. I should be getting, like, pros of everything at this point. I mean, a difficulty selector would probably go well, I would imagine. Tanglewood, intermediate. Ridgeview. Yeah, I'll do Ridgeview, why not? 2 sanity pills. Let's grab a couple of crucifixes. We'll take in... Oh, we can only take in 2. Alright, gotcha. Grab a lighter. Grab an extra 2 photo cameras. Grab in a spirit... No, don't need spirit box. Salt. Take 2 of them. Smudge sticks. Take 1. Tripod. We'll take 2. Video camera. We'll take 1. Strong flashlight. Motion sensor. That looks... Oh, and glow sticks. That looks good to me. Very nice indeed. Photo of the ghost. Dirty water and sink. Smudge sticks. It's Jennifer Davis, and it lacks alone people. Boop, boop, boop. Coolio. Let's go. Flick on our thermometer. So generally, I find you can actually scan therm through the window occasionally. Oh, it's this style of house. Okay, cool. And by cool, I mean this is the style of house I like the least. 13 dropped down immediately down in here, but not yet. Turn on this lantern while we check around here. Nothing from what I can tell. Nothing in here. And that's a note from me. The light has some weird bleed through the walls. I kind of wish they'd fixed that, but at the same time, it doesn't really bother me that much, honestly. Yeah. I don't know the situation that they're dealing with at the moment for employees and stuff and the amount of people working on the game. If it's high enough, I would like to think, well, I mean, as to the amount of people buying the game recently, I'd like to believe that they're doing pretty well, but at the same time, I don't know. I suppose bug fixing is always on the table for what people want from a game, so I suppose it's an important thing to have. Granted, it is still alpha, I'm pretty sure, so it does make sense that, of course, naturally, at the moment, it's not particularly too well done, or it's still, like, in testing stages, you know? Please don't be down here again. 13.1. We might be good. I really don't want it to be in the basement again. I hate that basement. Not even because it's spooky or anything, just for the simple fact it's such a horrible, horrible layout, so I can't get a good video camera position for either of them. Was that the kitchen? Because that seemed very quick. Like, I saw it, like, it spawned, like, immediately, it felt like. Oh, it's just the kitchen here. Alright. Cool. Good stuff. Good to know. As I was just about to start heading upstairs as well. Go figure, I guess. Could have sworn I checked the kitchen, but I suppose it was immediate. Okay. That was a very, very quick hunt. Let's take both of those, because I feel like, honestly, having crucifixes down is probably our saving grace at the moment. So we need one roughly around the area that leads down to the basement. Like there. And maybe another one here. So we can watch and see how fast that disappears. It's weird that they don't have a door on those cupboards. Okay, oh well. I'm gonna sit up just a tad. Try and make sure I've got good posture. Have I eaten anything today? Oh yeah, that's right, I made myself... What did I make myself? My coffee. I had a few Snickers. I had a Snickers bar or something. It might not have been Snickers actually. Picnic maybe. I don't know. I had chocolate. I was like, get some of that in me. EMF and ghostwriting. Let's just get that going immediately. EMF immediately. Drop this down a saprophagus. Cool. So at the moment, I'm thinking it might be an Oni or a demon. Just because of the fact that it went very quickly. Like, off the bat, usually I at least have a grace period of like a minute or so. Like, not even on that, but like I haven't done anything to actively annoy it. So a grace period usually is roughly a good way to tell on whether it's angry or not. We could actually just set up the camera out here, I guess. But actually, yeah. And maybe we'll go a bit more like that. Do you want us to leave? How old are you? Do you want us to leave? How old are you? Okay, I'm willing to bet it's not the spirit box. I've not seen any writing. Crucifixes haven't been triggered. Maybe it's orbs. I feel like it must be orbs at the moment. I'm getting orbs, freezing temps, and fingies, I reckon. It's got to be orbs, though, is the thing I'm confused about, right? Because, let's grab this. Orbs, freezing temps. Yeah, I'm going to put one over here, I reckon. Not on the outside, on the inside. I only usually employ the video camera on the outside strategy when it feels like I am going to straight up just die if I do anything else. Video camera active. Let's hope that still gets a good camera shot. And sneak out before it starts hunting. Ah, got him. You aren't going to be able to hunt me today, except for when you did hunt me today. Okay, what about our new one? Yeah, it's a decent camera position. Not ideal, but not the worst either. Didn't I close that door? I just want to close that door. Oh well. Motion sensor. Nope, no motion sensor. Smudge stickeroni. Light everything on fire. It's time to start burning everything down. Grab that key for us. 1, 2, 3. If it starts hunting, we're going to be dead basically immediately. Close that door. Not seeing any candles around here that I can light. Alright, and now let's swap back over here. Oh, hang on. F, G. There we go. Throw down the lighter. Okay. Let's get back over here. Because I don't like being near to where the ghost could possibly spawn and stab me in the face. Clear the area with some smudge sticks. I don't know if that's not procced or what the deal is, but let's salt it up now, I guess. It always does concern me occasionally when I see lights on in the house, but I'm like, oh no, that was me who turned those on, or who lit the candles. Oh, there's more candles there, I didn't even realize. Oop. Excellent. Drop that. Thing is, it's dropping cold enough that yeah, I'm seeing 11s. I don't know what's up with that. Like, that's got to be the right spot, doesn't it? Right? That's where it spawned, after all. No. What? What the bloody hell? I'm actually legitimately confused. What is going on? I guess I'll take my thermometer and I guess we'll check upstairs. That's not the right thing. Did it give us anything? Nope, nothing. Go figure. Oh, bam, pow. Oh, it's 3 up here. Oh, damn. Is it a hallway ghost? It feels like it could be. There's that bone. It might be a hallway ghost. 0.2. Well, that's freezing temps very clearly. So in other words, I did waste a smudge stick, which is irritating. Okay, there's freezing. It's like -9 in here. Yeah, that's freezing. Like, this has got to be the room, I reckon. Guess we'll drop that there. Ah, man, that's a bit of an irritation, gotta say. Because it means that I've wasted all the salt here. Despite the fact it did spawn basically just here. The other thing is that I want to just... Because, like, this is the sort of point where I'm like, okay, I've wasted so much time, I might as well just roll over and die. But at the same time, like, that's a bad idea because, you know, I did also... Bitch ass, motherfucker. Okay. At this point, I'm just getting caught off guard. EMF, sure. Guess we'll take that. And it's going to need to be rotated to about... that ain't... that'll do, fine, whatever. Cool, that one can go there. EMF 4, good to know. Can you, like, not mess around with the door, please? So I'm going to take a photo of it. Fingerprints, excellent. Or an EMF 4. Nope, nothing. More fingerprints. Okay, cool. I really hate when it gives us multiple locations that are relatively cold. Like, because it's generally like, 11 to me is like, okay, that's cold. At least in terms of this game. That's cold everywhere else. We don't actually even have salt, do we? Because I think I've wasted all of our salt. And go figure, this is one time I didn't bring extra smudge sticks or salt. I'm pretty sure. I don't have extra smudge sticks at the very least, but we have extra salt. Okay, at least that's convenient. Oop. Dirty water in a sink. Okay, at least we can do that. Take another rave stick, why not? Okay, Sandy's still doing pretty solid. This ghost individual is getting to be a bit of a pain, not gonna lie. Okay. Right. Righto, tighto. Righto. And the power's been turned off. Excellent. Salt, salt, salt. Me right now. Or EMF. Don't have any camera here. So freezing temperatures, fingerprints. No ghostwriting yet, but I didn't really pay attention to it, so I could have just missed it. Get out here real quick. Fingerprints, freezing temps. It's a wraith or a banshee? A wrath, yes. I'm dumb occasionally, don't worry about it. Wrath or a banshee. I said it again, damn it. Wraith or a banshee, so that's spirit orbs, or it is... I bet it's going to be spirit orbs, though. Because it's EMF 5 or spirit orbs, if I'm not mistaken. I think banshee, spirit orbs, and wraith is EMF 5. Wraith is EMF 5. Let me quickly actually verify that. Wraith. Banshee is... Oh, Banshee's EMF 5 and Wraith is Spirit Orbs. Nope. Wraith is Spirit Box. Okay. Right. Let's go and grab ourselves a Spirit Box. I do believe I know where I left it, so we can just quickly grab that. Should be right anyways. Fantastic. Do you want us to leave? How old are you? Do you want us to leave? How old are you? How old are you? Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Bloody Mary, 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 Bloody Mary. Okay, cool. EMF 5. Gotcha. Come on. Nothing from those two. Bloody Mary, 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 Bloody Mary. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Show yourself. Give us a photo. 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 Damn it, didn't work. It was working the other day. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Come out. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Stop being a bitch and show yourself. Should probably go find out its name. And also bring an extra crucifix. So, EMF 5. Oop, Banshee. What do banshees do? Banshees, if I'm not mistaken, they don't like smudge sticks, don't they? Oh no, they don't like the crucifix. Excellent. And they have a single target, in which case this target is of course me, because why wouldn't it be? Let's grab this other crucifix. Coriolis, you'll be off soon. Just start watching in your car, waiting for it to heat up, so for the rest of the stream, if you don't get a chance to chat again, that's all good. Thanks for coming around. I very much appreciate it, as always. I'm thinking at this rate, we might not end up doing Darkest Dungeon tonight anyways, just because it's like 7 PM already, and I don't like staying up too late with streams. But yeah, I would say I'm definitely wanting to do Darkest Dungeon tomorrow. So regardless, you're not going to miss out on much anyways. So yeah, as I was saying, thanks for coming out. I very much appreciate it. So I'll catch you whenever I catch you next. Now, let's get this bitch ass of a ghost to spawn. I didn't check the name either, did I? Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Come on. Come out, bitch ass. Let's go. Snap, snap, let's go. Come on, you can do it. Show yourself. Show yourself. Come out for a photo. Come out for a photo. Photo time, come on. I know you're scared of the crucifix, but that's fine. They're there for my own protection. Come on. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself. Let's go. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on, show yourself. Come on. Oh, for bloody hell. Show yourself. So I'll take a photo. See if anything's there that's worth taking a photo of. Interaction. Yep, cool. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself. You try and be up and awake for it. Always love Darkest Dungeon. Yeah, Darkest Dungeon's a great game. I want to do it. I'll probably end up streaming around the same time today anyways, but if you're not able to make it, that's all good. I understand that life happens, you know. But yeah, sounds good. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next stream then. I'll catch you then, I suppose. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself. Come on. Do something. And appear. I should probably have my hand on the photo, on the camera. Show yourself. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Don't make me walk to just a different room. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. I wonder, actually, if I just take this. Nope, nothing there. Okay. Anything here? Nope. Give us a sign. 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 Show yourself. Show yourself. Come on, you won't. Show yourself. Enough of that. Show yourself. Give us a sign. 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 I'm just gonna go and grab, like, I don't know, something. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out the name, and I'm gonna piss this ghost right off. Let's go. I'll grab this, I guess, so I have some ambient light. Alrighty, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Might need to grab a different camera as well. Let's drop that one there. Oh, apparently we don't have another get. Oh no, we have one that has one. Great. Dirty water, ghost photo, smudge sticks. Okay. I'll drop that there, and I'll take the other camera, so we at least have two cameras. And I didn't actually check the name. Jeez. I'm really bad at this, aren't I? Jennifer Davis. Jennifer. Jenny. Red Jenny. Dead Jenny, specifically. Jennifer Davis, 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 Jennifer Davis. Up there goes one of our crucifixes. Jennifer Davis, 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 Jennifer Davis. Show yourself. Jennifer Davis, come on. Jennifer, 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 Jennifer Davis, come on. Jennifer Davis, come on. Jennifer, 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 let's go, come on. Snap, snap, let's go. Jennifer Davis, come on. You can do it, let's go. Come on. Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis. Show yourself. Show yourself. Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis, 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 Jennifer Davis. There we go. Jennifer Davis, 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 Jennifer Davis. Jennifer Davis, 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 Jennifer Davis. Come on, Jennifer Davis, show yourself. There we go. Jennifer Davis, Jennifer Davis, Jennifer Davis. I'll take another photo, that's fine. Okay, cool. Let's get out of here. That should hopefully be good. Bitch ass. Nice. Hell yes, that worked awesomely. Ooh-wee. Well, we got a photo. Didn't get a sync photo, but that's fine. We've got the Banshee. That was probably not as good as it could have been, but that's fine. It is what it is. Anyways, I reckon that is going to be my last run for tonight because that has taken us to 2 hours. We have $160. Now, hang on, let me quickly check something. Motion sensor. We have $206. If we go motion sensor, boop, boop. Look at that. We have 4 of everything. Hell yes. That's what I like to see, and that's the way that we're going to finish off today's episode. So if you've been here for a minute, a moment, or the entire stream, I very much appreciate you stopping by. I've been very much enjoying this so far, so maybe we'll play more of it, maybe we won't, we probably will, but see how our schedules line up. I'm going to probably also wrap up stream here, so thank you for coming out, I very much appreciate it. Yeah, I'm happy with how this turned out. We have done pretty well in games, so that's pretty awesome. I'm going to quickly leave lobby and close the game. So, thank you for coming out. As always, I very much appreciate it. Apologies if there's been a bit of lag today. I have been uploading a video because I do want to have access to... Well, I do want to release a video today because I've been a bit slack so far with releasing videos. So, I guess it is what it is. Thank you for coming out. I very much appreciate it. there's always the playlist that you're welcome to go to the channel and find if you want to watch a bunch of these. Yeah, this will be up whenever it goes up. I need to do a bunch of uploading and stuff, so thank you for coming out. I very much appreciate it. This will mean the end of the stream and the end of the end of the episode and the end of the stream. So thank you for coming. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you whenever I catch you. Thank you and goodbye.